So in problem 1, they tell us that triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. And they say the ratio of the length of AB to length of DE is 3 to 1. So they told us AB to DE is 3 to 1. This is a sides ratio. So it's asking us which ratio is also equal to 3 to 1. As we notice in similar triangles, corresponding angles are the same. So they have a ratio of 1 to 1. So these are out. Then we learned in the video lesson that if I have the ratio of the sides, to get the ratio of the areas, we square the numbers. So the ratio of the areas would be 9 to 1. That's not the answer. And perimeters, we learned that the ratio of the perimeters is identical to the ratio of the sides. So choice 4 is the answer. Number 2 says the lengths of a triangle are 14. It should really say the length of the sides of a triangle. The lengths of a triangle are 14, 17, and 29, respectively. It says if the perimeter of a similar triangle is 90 feet, what is the length of the smallest side? So here's a similar triangle, and we know the perimeter is 90. And if they give us the perimeter of the other triangle, we need to really get the perimeter of the first triangle. So 14 plus 17 plus 29 comes out to be 60. So now what we can do is we can always take a perimeter and put it over another perimeter. So you can have 60 over 90 equals, we want the smallest side of the new triangle. So if you notice, the smallest side in the triangle whose sides we know is 14. Okay? So 14 can come here, divided by, I'll put the smallest side in the similar triangle on the left, and I'll call it x. So cross multiplying here, we get 60x equals, let's see, 90 times 10 is 900, and 90 times 4 is 360, so you get 1360 divided by 60, and x should be 21. So 21 is the final answer. Number 3 was a little tricky in class, as I saw people do it. It says if the sides of a triangle are 8, 11, and 15, find the perimeter of a triangle that is formed by connecting the midpoints of these sides. So if you connect the midpoints of the sides, midpoint, 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 connect, 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 if you notice, that triangle will be half of the original, and I'll show you why. If I took this side, for instance, notice it's parallel to the side that's 8. And if you kind of drag this over, it matches up perfectly. And so we know that this side, say, is 4. Okay? And guess what? 15, this side is 7.5. That's half of 15. And this side is 5.5, which is half of 11. So if we add these up, 4 plus 7.5 plus 5.5, we get 17. A slightly quicker way to do it would be get the perimeter of the big triangle, 8 plus 11 plus 15, which is 34. And then since we know this triangle is formed by midpoints, its perimeter is half the big triangle. So we have 34 divided by 2, which is 17. Either way works, whatever way you like it. If you like more of the visual, if you like the red solution, if you like a kind of a quick and easy way to get the answer, you have the black version. Okay, so we have in triangle ABC, just ignore this copy line. This big line that's across the page is a copier line. DE is parallel to BC. So what happens here is we get two similar triangles, one being ADE and the other being ABC. If BD is 9, DE is 10, and BC is 15, we want to find the length of AD. So they're asking for AD, so I'm going to call that X. Okay. Now, if I take the small triangle, the red triangle, I can make a lot of proportions here, but I'm going to take the small triangle. X is a side in that small triangle. It's AD. So I'm going to do small over the bottom of that triangle. So I'm doing left over bottom in the little triangle equals, I have to do left over bottom in the big triangle. And this is where people mess this up. Here's the big triangle. If I want the left side, it's not just X. And it's not just 9. I have to put those together. We have to add them up to get x plus 9 divided by the bottom of the big triangle, which is 15. Okay? You could have also set up other proportions, but as long as you cross multiply and we get the same thing, your proportion was correct. So when we cross multiply here, I have 15x equals, you have to remember to distribute here, 10x plus 90. Subtracting 10x from both sides, we get 5x is 90. Divide by 5, x is 18, which is the same thing as AD. So we're good to go there. Number 5 says, in triangle ABC, D is a point on AB and E is a point on AC so that BC is parallel to DE. So draw this triangle, ABC. D is a point on AB. I can put that anywhere I like. And E is a point on AC so that BC, this line segment here, is going to be parallel. So I'm going to draw a parallel line segment, and that would help us figure out where E is. Now it says if DE is 12, BC is 15, and AD is 8, they would like us to find BD. So on BD, I'm going to put an X. Okay? Now this one I'll do a little differently. The little triangle, I'm going to highlight in green here. Here's the little guy. 12 corresponds to the 15 in the big triangle. So 12 over 15. Notice I started small, then large. So when I do the next part of the proportion, I have to start with the small triangle. 8 is a side. It's AD. It is a side of a small triangle. The side of the large triangle, however, is not X. Be careful. The large triangle is ABC. So the large triangle has a side. I have to take these guys and combine them into X plus 8. That's where people will get messed up. So remember, the original 8 on the top is coming from the small green triangle, and the X plus 8 is coming from the large triangle. And now we can cross multiply. So we get 12x plus, remember 12 times 8, 96, equals 8 times 15, which is 120. Subtract 96 from both sides. We get 12x equals, do this on my head, so 24. Yep, that looks good. Divide by 12. And x is 2. And BD was x, so we're good to go. BD is 2. All right, number 6 was giving people trouble in class, but it's really not too bad. It says in triangle DEF, G is the midpoint of DE, and H is the midpoint of DF. So we get a midpoint triangle down here. So this triangle is half, or the corresponding sides are half the corresponding sides of the large triangle. So it says if GH is 6, and FE is 2x minus 6, we want to find the value of x. So again, realizing, if I took GH for a minute, which is 6, and in my mind I kind of dragged it up. If you notice, that side is 6, and it's half of this. So 6 and 6, or double 6, is 12. So now we know that 2x minus 6 equals 12. And again, whenever you have midpoints, corresponding sides are going to be half of the big triangle side. Or, in other language, to get from the small to the large, you just multiply by 2. So 2x minus 6 equals 12, and now it's pretty easy to solve for x. So we get 2x equals 18. Divide by 2, x is 9. Skipping down to number 7. And again, try to ignore this middle line that came out on the copy machine when I scanned this in. In triangle ABC, it says DE is parallel to BC. So again, we get two similar triangles. We get the little guy on the top and the big guy on the bottom. It says if DE is 6, BC is 10, AD is x plus 3, and BD is x minus 2, we would like to find the length of AB. So in this case, I'll set up the proportion a little differently. I'll go bottom and bottom. Okay? So 6 in the little triangle, 10 in the big triangle. equals, now we're going to do left side and left side. In the smaller triangle, the left side is just x plus 3. In the bottom, or in the big triangle rather, we have to remember x plus 2 is not a full side. I have to take the big side from B all the way up to A. So we have to remember to add the two pieces up. And adding two polynomials is adding the like terms. So x plus x is 2x. And minus 2, or negative 2 plus 3, is positive 1. And that has to go on the bottom of this fraction. So remember, again, the biggest key is you can't just use the x minus 2 on the bottom. That's not a full side in the triangle. That's part of the side. All right, next step is to cross multiply. So we get 6 times 2x is 12x plus 6. Remember distributing 6 times 1 equals 10x plus 30. And so now we can combine, or rather shuffle around the terms. We get 12x minus 10x is 2x plus 6 equals 30. Let me just extend my page. 2 more steps here. Subtract 6 on both sides. So we get 2x is 24. Divide by 2. X is 12. Now in this case, x does not have a particular geometric meaning. It's not one of the sides. So if you notice, x minus 2 is BD, and AD is x plus 3, and BA would be 2x plus 1. They're asking us to find the length of AB. And we determined before A to B was 2x plus 1. So now AB is equal to 2 times the x value plus 1, which was 12. And 2 times 12 is 24, plus 1 is 25. And I'm going to stop the movie here. This is the first 2 pages of the review sheet. And if you want, there are going to be other movies posted for the other pages.